Hello, you awesome word nerds. Thank you for joining me. The first chapter of this podcast is getting near, very, very, very near. Very, very near. It's very nigh. Anyway, so we are at the last quarter of page 87, and there will only be 2 episodes left for the letter A after this. It's very strange. Okay. Our first word is AYH, all caps. It is an abbreviation for American Youth Hostels. Have you ever stayed in a hostel? I stayed in a few. I visited Hawaii a bunch of years ago, and I stayed in a couple hostels, and that was an interesting experience, especially because one of them was somewhat under construction, and that was an experience. I might have to write that whole trip out because that was a story. Anyway, next we have ayin, or it would be ayin, A-Y-I-N. It is a noun from 1823, the 16th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. See the alphabet table. I don't know those letters. This is obviously from Hebrew, ayin, with an apostrophe before the letters, and it literally means eye, E-Y-E. So that is a whole other thing. I could look into the etymology and the meaning of letters, especially, in this case, Hebrew, because maybe they each mean some sort of word, and then why do they mean that word? What is that? What's the connection there? I don't know. All right, next we have Aymara. Aymara. There's the emphasis is on the last syllable. Capital A-Y-M-A-R-A. It is a noun from 1842. 1. A member of an Indian people of Bolivia, Peru, and northern Chile. Number 2. The language of the Aymara people. Of course, my brain wants to say Aymara, but that is not what it tells me. All right. Next we have Ayrshire, or Ayrshire, or Asher. I think all of those are fine. It is spelled capital A-Y-R-S-H-I-R-E. It is a noun from 1856. Any of a breed of hardy dairy cattle developed in Ayr, or Ayr, and usually marked with blotches of red or brown with white. Gotta post a picture of these cute cattles. I don't care what they look like, they're gonna be cute. This is from Ayrshire, Scotland, however you want to pronounce that word. Next we have Ayurveda. Ayurveda, A-Y-U-R-V-E-D-A. This is a noun. It is often capitalized from 1788. A form of holistic alternative medicine that is the traditional system of medicine in India. And Ayurvedic is an adjective also often capitalized. This is from Sanskrit, Ayurveda, with an H at the end. And now we're going to learn where it comes from. It is from the word ayu, or aya, A-Y-U-H, which means life or vital power, from Veda, which means knowledge. Veda sounds like somebody in maybe the Northeast saying Darth Vader. Hey, Darth Vader. What's up? Anyway, so life and knowledge, or vital power and knowledge. I love seeing things like that. Like how do these words combine to make up what it is, what the word is that we're talking about? All right, next we have AZ, both lowercase. It is an abbreviation for 1 azimuth, A-Z-I-M-U-T-H, azimuth, or azimuth. Either one is fine. Or number 2, Azure, A-Z-U-R-E. Now we have AZ all caps. It is an abbreviation for Arizona. Next we have a prefix, AZ or AZO. It is, it's a prefix I said. It doesn't give me a year. And it means containing nitrogen, especially as the divalent group, N equals N. As in, azine. A-Z-I-N-E, or azine. That was weird in my brain that I said as in, azine, because it sounds very similar. Or it could just be pronounced as in. Probably not, but it could be as in, as in. This is from lots of things. It is from French azote, or pronounced in the French way, which means nitrogen, plus, or from, let's see, Greek zotikos, which means maintaining life, from zoe, which means life, and there is more at the word quick. Next, we have another prefix. It is aza, or az. It is, let's see, it means containing nitrogen in place of carbon, and usually the divalent group NH for the group CH2, or a single trivalent nitrogen atom for the group CH, as in azathioprine. Yeah, more science. We sort of left science in general for a long, long time, but it has come back with a vengeance. Well, maybe only 2 words. Oh no, I see more ahead. All right, next we have azalea, Azalea. This is a noun from 1760. Any of a subgenus of rhododendrons with funnel-shaped corollas and usually deciduous leaves, including many species and hybrid forms cultivated as ornamentals. And this is, let's see, New Latin, it is the genus name Azalea from the Greek feminine of azaleos, which means dry, and that is from azin, which means to parch or dry. It is akin to the Hittite, again, I haven't looked it up, Hitt, word hat, Hat, with a thing below the H. That is a prefix, actually, and that means to dry up, and probably to the Latin ador, or ador, which means emmer, E-M-M-E-R. Don't know that word. Anyway, that's azalea. Let's post a picture. Next, we have azathioprine, which we just mentioned in our example from the AZA prefix. Azathioprine, that's how you pronounce it. Azathiooprine. I have no idea if I spelled it, but if I did, you have it again. Now, this is a noun from 1962. A purine, or purin, antimetabolite C9H7N7O2S, used especially as a immunosuppressant. There you go. Next we have azazel, or it could be Azazel. Capital A-Z-A-Z-E-L. That's a fun name. It's a word, but it's a name. It is a noun from 1674. An evil spirit of the wilderness to which a scapegoat was sent by the ancient Hebrews in a ritual of atonement. It's not the Hebrews, it's a Hebrews. Azazel or Azazel. It is, it's a Hebrew word. That's pretty much all it says. Maybe there's some cool, when you're watching a horror movie and they're looking through an old book and there's all these old pieces of art with like demons and devils and things like that. Maybe we can find a cool picture like that of Azazel. All right, next we have azeotrope. Azeotrope. It is a noun from 1938. A liquid mixture that is characterized by a constant minimum or maximum boiling point, which is lower or higher than that of any of the components. What? A liquid mixture that is characterized by a constant minimum or maximum boiling point, which is lower or higher than that of... I don't understand. All right, let's see. This is from A plus zeo, which is from the Greek zine, which means to boil, plus trope, which means something changed, from the Greek tropos, which means turn, and there's more at the words yeast and trope. Next we have, I think it is Azerbaijani, capital Azerbajani. It is a noun from circa 1909. 1. A member of a Turkic-speaking people of Azerbaijan and northwest Iran. Number 2. The Turkic language of the Azerbaijanis. And Azerbaijani is also an adjective. This is Persian. Azerbaijan. Yep, that's what it says. So They Might Be Giants have a song. No. Wait, I'm thinking of a couple of things here. So there's two things. First, They Might Be Giants have a song where they go through the alphabet and they give a country name to each letter. And I think in one of the versions or in one of the verses, they do say Azerbaijan for the letter A, but I might also be thinking of the Animaniacs song where they go through all the countries in the world at the time, and they might have mentioned it there too. I'll see if I can find a clip of one or both. Whichever one is right, maybe they're both right. It's just a fun word to say.
Azerbaijan, Bolivia, Canada.
All right, next we have Azeri, or Azuri, capital A-Z-E-R-I. It is a noun from 1979, and we have the synonym Azerbaijani. Anything interesting else we want to say about that in the etymology? No. Next we have azide. Azide, yeah. A-Z-I-D-E. It is a noun from circa 1904, a compound containing the group N3 combined with an element or radical. What's a radical? Next we have azido. A-Z-I-D-O. It is an adjective from circa 1926. Yeah, these scientific chemistry words have definitely come back with a vengeance. It is relating to or containing the monovalent group N3, often used in combination. Combination with what? I don't know. Oh, maybe this word. Azidothymidine. Azidothymidine. Yeah, it is a noun, and it is our last word of the episode. I should probably say that. Azidothymidine. It's a noun from 1974, and we just have the synonym AZT, which I'm assuming is pronounced azd. Let's look ahead. Well, there's just one azd. It's pronounced AZT? Or AZT. Really? That's the only thing for the word AZT in here? Anyway, yeah, I guess that could be. It's the synonym AZT. Oh, because it's the abbreviation for it. Okay, that is it. We're going to leave the last word on this page until the next episode. We're getting there, people. Almost one letter down. What do I got to say? I don't know. Thank you for listening. I should be saying this more often, but genuinely, if you like or even dislike this podcast, please give me a rating on whatever platform you're listening, especially Apple Podcasts. 5-star rating would be awesome, and even if you like it or you hate it, write something. It really does help. I hate being that guy to say those things, but it does help, and if you don't like it, tell me why. I might not listen, but, you can tell me. I got an email address. Go check the episode description. Email address, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I got all those things. I don't do, TikTok or any of those whatevers. I don't know what those things are. They're all going to change, and I'm going to be left in the dust. All right. Thank you for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer, the idiot, reading you the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello to all you lovely word nerds. I am very grateful that you are joining me. Welcome to my podcast called The Dictionary, which is the only podcast in the world read by this guy. So, we are on the second to last episode. These both are going to be kind of short. So, I made your life easier. This first word for this episode is azimuth or azimuth. A-Z-I-M-U-T-H. It is a noun from the 14th century. 1. An arc of the horizon measured between a fixed point, as true north, and the vertical circle passing through the center of an object, usually in astronomy and navigation clockwise from the north point through 360 degrees. Did you understand that? The arc of the horizon measured between a fixed point and the vertical passing through the center of an object, usually in astronomy and navigation clockwise from the north point through 360 degrees. Number 2, horizontal, flip the page, horizontal direction expressed as the angular distance between the direction of a fixed point as the observer's heading and the direction of the object. Azimuthal is an adjective. Azimuthally is an adverb. So we have a picture. Maybe I will either take a picture of this and post it, or I will find another picture of it. But I'm going to describe it to you. Let's see. Do we want to read that? No, we'll do the picture first. Okay, so we have a very simple 3D drawing of the top half of a globe, essentially. Looks like a dome. Hey, do you remember when I couldn't think of the word dome because I'm dumb? I was talking about an aviary. I'm so stupid. Okay, so we have there's a circle on the ground, and then there's a line that goes from one side 0 degrees up into the air, and then lands at 180 degrees on the other side of the circle. And this arc is a perfect half circle. So there's that. Then we have a line that goes between those 2 points, 0 and 180 degrees of that arc. Then we have a line, a dotted line, going straight up from the middle point of the circle on the ground that goes up to the center point of the arc. Then we have a quarter arc, or I guess it would be an arc which is a quarter of a circle, going from that center point of the arc back down to a different part of the circle on the ground. Don't worry, this will make sense when you see it, which you could probably be looking at it now. Then we have a sun, a little picture of a sun, part of the way up of that second arc. That's just a quarter of a circle, and there's a dotted line going up to that from the center. Then we have a dotted line going again from the center along the ground to a different part, not 0 degrees, not 180 degrees, just a different part, and it goes off, and there's that 0 degrees to that part is shaded. Okay, so this is azimuth. Number one is, let's see, azimuth 1, the first definition. Number 1 is the horizon. So there's a 1 pointing to, it's the circle on the ground. That's the horizon. Number 2 is pointing to the very top point of that first arc I mentioned in the air, the one that's a half circle. The very top point of that is the zenith. There was an old TV company called Zenith. Number 3 is called the star. So that is pointing right to the thing that I said that looks like a sun. Okay, number 4 is the meridian, and that is pointing to that arc, that half circle arc in the air. That is the meridian. Number 5 is the vertical circle, and that is pointing to that second arc I talked about that's only a quarter of a circle. I hope you're understanding this. Number 6 is our main word, azimuth, and that is the section that is shaded from 0 degrees to the other angle point that was marked off by the dotted line on the ground. That is the azimuth. And then number 7, we have, it's pointing to the center point and on the ground, and that is the observer. So what does this mean? I don't know. All right, we're going to move on to azimuthal equidistant projection. This is a noun from 1942, a map projection of the surface of the Earth so centered at any given point that a straight line radiating from the center to any other point represents the shortest distance and can be measured to scale. All right, next we have azine, A-Z-I-N-E. Or could just be azine. It is a noun from 1887, a compound of the general formula. Oh boy. All right, so I'm going to skip the formula. I'm going to read the definition, and then I'm going to come back to the formula. And there's 2 versions of the formula. So it says, a compound of the general formula formed by the action of hydrazine on aldehydes or ketones. So the first formula is RCH equals NN equals CHR. Second formula is R2C equals NN equals CR2. And of course, the numbers are subscript. They're small and below the numbers. I don't know what those mean. We are going to move on to azo or azo, and it is spelled A-Z-O. It is an adjective from circa 1879, relating to or containing the divalent group N equals N, united at both ends to carbon. Now we have azodye or azodye, two separate words. Dye is D-Y-E. It is a noun from 1884, any of numerous dyes containing azo or azo groups. Now we have azonic, azoic, A-Z-O-I-C. It is an adjective from 1845, having no living beings, especially of or relating to the part of geologic time that antedates life. Compare to the number one definition for archean, A-R-C-H-E-A-N. This is from A plus the Greek word zoe, which means life, which we learned recently, and there's more at the word quick somehow. Next we have azole, A-Z-O-L-E. I am not going to make that joke because it's not family friendly, but you can figure it out. It could also be azole. It is a noun from circa 1899, any of numerous compounds characterized by a 5-membered ring containing at least one nitrogen atom. Now we have azonal, A-Z-O-N-A-L. It is an adjective from 1938 of relating to or being a soil or a major group of soils lacking well-developed horizons, often because of immaturity. Compared to the synonyms intrazonal, I guess they're not synonyms, but compared to intrazonal and zonal. I feel like I remember learning that when you're talking about soil and horizons, I think the horizons mean that there's different layers of soil. When you go down, you dig down, and you see different layers, different types. Those might be called horizons. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like I learned that. Okay, we are going to do the last word for this episode. It is azoospermia. Azoospermia. A-Z-O-O-S-P-E-R-M-I-A. It is a noun from circa 1881. Absence of spermatozoa from the seminal fluid. So that would mean the semen from a man has no sperm. That would probably happen after he gets a vasectomy. This is from Greek azoos, A-Z-O-O-S, which means lifeless. That is from A plus zoe, which means life, plus sperma, which means semen or seed, and there's more at the word sperm. So, what is our word of the episode? Well, I wasn't a big fan of all those chemistry science ones because I didn't understand what I was talking about, so I'm going to pick azimuth as the word of the episode. Oh boy, we're almost there. We are at the top of page 88. We have one more quarter to do, and I don't know what my little note says, but I'm changing things up if it's wrong. Anyway, that is it. We've almost done it. And then we have to do it for 15 more years, 25 more times. Thank you very much for joining me. I have no idea if I'll be doing the next episode by myself or if I'll have a guest or what's going on, but it's going to get done. Thank you for listening to this podcast read by me, some idiot. Thank you and goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the last episode of... What am I trying to say? This is the last episode of the letter A. Welcome to my podcast called The Dictionary, the only podcast in the world where some idiot reads the dictionary, and that idiot is me, and I am sitting next to my non-idiot wife, who somehow puts up with me, and the cats are running all over the place. Say hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
There you go. So I asked her to be on this last episode of the letter A, because... I thought we need something special for this one, and she's special, so she's on this episode.
Aw, thank you.
The last time you did this, you were the one reading.
Yes.
And I know you had a blast doing that.
So much fun.
But this time, I'm going to be doing the reading, and so let's get into it. Bailey, do you want to read a word? No, she wants to play. Okay, the first word is azothymia. azotemia. This is a noun from circa 1900. An excess of urea or other nitrogenous wastes in the blood as a result of kidney insufficiency, compared to uremia. And azotemic is an adjective. Well, did you learn about this ever in nursing school?
Yes. And I sometimes have patients that when I read through their faxes, I've read this term to describe some of their cases.
Azotemia. And are you pronouncing it correctly? Azotemia.
You mean, are you pronouncing it correctly? Yes, I believe that is how you, azotemia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. As I've mentioned in the past, I do not plan the guests with the words, and so it's just a coincidence that this is actually a word that you are familiar with. All right, next we have azoth. A-Z-O-T-H. We are in a very weird section of the dictionary because the A-Z words are odd. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. Mercury remedy. Wait, no, I skipped a line. Mercury regarded by alchemists as the first principle of metals. Number 2. The universal remedy of Paracelsus. Paracelsus. I think that's somebody's name because it's capital P-A-R-A-C-E-L-S-U-S. I have no idea who that is. Do you?
Probably a Greek god.
Yeah, maybe. This is from Middle Latin. It's an alternative of azak from the Arabic al-zawa, which means the mercury. So this is all about alchemy. Next we have azotobacter. Azotobacter. A-Z-O-T-O-B-A-C-T-E-R. This is a noun from 1910. Any of a genus of large rod-shaped or spherical bacteria occurring in soil and sewage and fixing atmospheric nitrogen. That's all I got for that one. Maybe I can find a picture. All right, next we have azoturia. A-Z-O-T-U-R-I-A. This is a noun from circa 1838. An abnormal condition of horses characterized by muscle damage, especially to the hindquarters, and dark-colored urine containing nitrogenous or nitrogenous substances from muscle tissue breakdown. That doesn't sound good to the horses, and I'm sorry that they have to go through that. I wonder if that happens when they're, like, racing or something. Got any thoughts?
Hold on. Let me look at the definition.
An abnormal condition of horses characterized by muscle damage, especially to the hindquarters, and dark-colored urine containing nitrogenous substances from muscle tissue breakdown.
Maybe it has to do with azotemia.
Yeah, no, it's probably very similar. I would not be surprised. Although this one is about, they both got nitrogenous in the definition. The first one was about kidney stuff. This one's more about muscles, but they probably are connected in some way. Okay, we are going to move on to AZT, all caps. It is a noun from 1985, an antiviral drug, C10H13N504, that inhibits replication of some retroviruses, as HIV, and is used to treat AIDS, called also azidothymidine zidovudine. Something like that. I'm sure that's what that stands for. And there's no other etymology other than that. Glad that we have something that helps treat HIV and AIDS, and I'm sure since this book was made, I think we probably have even newer treatments for people with those conditions, diseases. So glad we're making progress on that. Next we have Aztec. Whoa, Bailey just ran past us at top speed. Bailey, you want to come say hi?
Say hi, Bailey. She's too busy running kitty drills with our other cat, Audrey.
She was just smelling the microphone. All right, next we have Aztec, capital A-Z-T-E-C. This is a noun from 1814, 1A, a member of a Nahuatl-speaking people that founded the Mexican Empire conquered by Cortez in 1519. 1B, a memory of any people under Aztec influence. Number 2, we have the synonym Nahuatl. By the way, that is spelled N-A-H-U-A-T-L. And Aztecan is an adjective. Let's see. This is Spanish from Azteca, from the Nahuatl word Azteca with an H, which is plural of Aztecatl. Azteca with a TL. Do you remember when we were playing running charades and one of Mark's clues was Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl. That's, I think, an Aztec or a Nahuatl word.
That was a bird, right?
It's like I think it's one of their gods. It's not just a bird. It's like a combination of like a lizard and a bird and like maybe one or two other things. And I'll see if I can find a picture. But we're not in the Q's. That's a Q word, but I think it is an Aztec god. Next we have azuki or azuki bean. Azuki. That's the azuki word. It is a variation of adzuki or adzuki bean, which we read back in the ADs. So there's no definition. Next we have, how do you say this word? Azulejo. Azulejo. This looks Spanish, maybe? Yeah. Azulejo. It is a noun from circa 1889. A glazed, usually blue ceramic tile, originally of Portugal and Spain. And I'm just chuckling to myself a little bit because the cats are still going nuts. And I don't know if you can hear them on the microphones, but they're running on the hardwood floors, and it's very funny to me. This is the first time we've recorded at home. So that is a blue ceramic tile. Maybe I can find an example of that and put it on the Instagram. Next we have azure. Azure. This is a noun from the 14th century. One is archaic, and we have the synonym lapis lazuli. Do you know what that is?
Isn't that some sort of a precious stone?
It might be, yeah. That sounds like it might be some sort of stone.
Hey, we have a dictionary right in front of us. Maybe we should look that up.
Oh, but you know what? That's so far. That's in the L's. We can't go and look. We have to guess until we get there.
We'll find out in 10 more years.
Yeah. All right. 2A, the blue color of the clear sky. 2B, the heraldic color blue. 3, the unclouded sky. And azure is also an adjective. I remember first hearing this word, I think, in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Did you ever see that show?
I have not seen that show.
When I was a kid, what is that guy's name? Him?
The Osmond?
Yes. Donny Osmond. Yes, Donny Osmond was in Chicago. He was living here for a while, and he was in that show, and we went and saw it. In the song where they're listing all the different colors that are in the coat, azure was one of them. I was like, "What's azure?" And then later I found out it was blue. It's just blue. Let's see. This is from Middle English, azur, from Anglo-French, azuere. How do you say that in the French way? Azeure.
Azure.
Sure, that sounds better than the way I said it. It is probably from Old Spanish, which is a modified of the Arabic word lazaward, sure, which is from the Persian lajuward. So yeah, azure is blue. Next we have azurite. I have a feeling this is going to be some sort of blue rock or stone. It is a noun from circa 1868. 1, a mineral that consists of blue basic carbonate of copper and is a minor copper ore. Number 2, a semi-precious stone derived from azurite. That's probably what you were thinking about. Let's see. Okay, we are on the very last word, but there's 2 forms of it. It is the word. You want to see if you can figure out how to say that?
Azygos?
Yeah, azygos. Azygos, I think, is the... But yeah, you were really close. Azygos. So this is the first form of 2. It is a noun from 1646. And azygos, anatomical part. Well, you know, you've taken anatomy classes. Do you have any idea what that is?
So let's see. I'm thinking it might be related to zygote.
Hold on a second. Somebody's calling my phone, so I'm going to have to turn them off. Yeah, well, let's look at the next one, which is the second form, azygos. It is an adjective from 1681, not being one of a pair. And then a synonym is single, as in how do I say it again? Azygous vein. Does that help?
Well, I'm looking here. It says is zygon yolk, and a zygote is the name for a fetus. Oh man, what stage? A very early stage of a fetus. So I'm thinking it might have something to do with that. But I am definitely, I don't remember everything that I learned from anatomy and physiology class. That was a long, long, long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of guessing at all these medical terms we're talking about today.
That's all right. You're not being tested yet. But yeah, this is from Greek, which means unyoked. And it is from A plus zygon, which means yolk. So it's the opposite. It's unyoked. And then there's more at the word yolk. And that's not helping me in any way until we learn about what the word yolk means. But maybe I can find a picture of a zygote fetus or something. So that's all of the words. I think we might pop a little bubbly to celebrate the end of the letter A.
I went and bought Spencer a bottle of sparkling wine that actually begins with the letter A. 1 minute. Let me go grab that. Did you bust an eardrum?
Yeah, it probably blew out the microphone, but that was the pop. So what does this say?
So this is Aria Estate Brut, and it is a cava, which is basically like a Spanish champagne. It says Aria Estate Brut has won decades of acclaim, handcrafted at the renowned Segura Viudas estate.
Segura Viudas.
Yeah, I took French, so I'll let you pronounce the Spanish words. It is clean, fresh, lively, and dry. Enjoy the sublime chorus of melon, nectarine, bread dough flavors, and creamy finish. That sounds delicious.
Interesting.
So here, hold my microphone, and I will pour us some. Was aria a word that you read?
Yeah, so this is the word aria spelled A-R-I-A.
What did that mean?
Well, I think there were multiple definitions, but if I remember correctly, I know one of the definitions is a song in an opera, usually sung by like a soprano or a mezzo-soprano, something like that. But I think there were other definitions, but that was the only one that I remember because I actually knew it ahead of time. This is not Arya Stark, which I have brought up before on this podcast, but this is like, the song. But maybe I'll actually go back and look to see if they're using this word in a different definition. But it's Spanish.
All right.
We know that.
So, cheers to finally finishing the A's. And how many episodes did it take to finish the A's?
340.
Woo! So, cheers to your 340 something episode, and on to the bees.
On to the bees. And I actually already recorded the first bee episode, and it starts as you would expect with the letter B.
This is quite delicious. I like the doughy bread.
Oh yeah,
flavor.
Any kids listening, if you want to try this cava, ask your parents. Cool. Any last words from you?
Well, I'm thinking maybe you should pick one of your favorite words. Should we pick a favorite word from this last section?
Thank you for reminding me.
Don't you usually do that?
Yes, you actually have to pick your favorite word. We started here with azotemia, azotobacter,
I think I'm going to go with azure.
Azure?
Azure.
Yep, that's the one that's blue. So I think when I talk to people about this episode or this podcast, the word that I often describe as a new word that I learned or something that sort of stuck out is the word abecedarian. I have talked about that word a lot with people, and I think it's pretty appropriate because it basically means, or one of the definitions is in alphabetical order, which this book is in. I am going through it in alphabetical order. Some people have commented, oh, well, why don't you just read like a few words or a handful of words? Like, nope, I'm going to read every single one in alphabetical order. And it's also appropriate for me because I've always been a very organized and fastidious person. I don't know if that's the right word. And I loved alphabetizing things. So when I would get a new movie, it would have to go in the right spot alphabetically. I know that when we started dating, all your movies were like in bins, not organized in any way. And all my movies were perfectly in alphabetical order. And so when we had to combine our movies, I, of course, had to make sure that they were in alphabetical order. Same with music. I would make sure my CDs were all in alphabetical order. So that one, I guess that would, off the top of my head, that would be my sort of favorite word of the letter A's.
All right. I'm just going to take a quick little peek here, and I'm going to pick my favorite A word.
Stand by.
I'm going to go with Australian cattle dog.
Australian cattle dog?
Yes, because I'm a little bit dog crazy because we're not allowed to have a dog where we live. And I'm not sure if these are there's actually a little picture in this dictionary. But there's those Australian dogs that we see all the time now.
Yeah, and I can never remember their actual breed name.
Yeah, it's Australian something, but they're so beautiful with just like the coloring in their fur.
It's like a light brown and a white and sort of mottled throughout. And don't they have kind of like usually light blue eyes too or something?
They have like these gorgeous blue eyes, maybe azure colored
maybe.
eyes. Yeah, but since I like dogs and I also really like Australia, and my heart is breaking for what's going on there right now with all the fires. It's really, really sad. And Spencer and I actually spent a couple weeks there a few years ago, and we were in a lot of the areas that are now on fire. So yeah, I'm going to go with this one, and with part of my solidarity with Australia. So please donate to any sort of legitimate fund to help raise money for the firefighters and help save all the poor animals and people that are being displaced by these horrible, horrible fires.
Yeah, a special shout out to Australia, another word that starts with the letter A, for all of the letter A. That's a special shout out to that. And I heard some celebrity donated like $1 million to help with all of this. I heard some comment about the Notre Dame Cathedral raised some ridiculous amount of money in a short amount of time, and Australia had raised virtually none. And it's like it's impacting so many more lives than
human and animal.
Right.
Notre Dame is sad, but it didn't really affect anyone. No one died.
Right. Billions or about 1 billion or more animals have died. I don't know how many humans have died. So yeah, it's been really rough seeing the photos and the videos that people are posting, but it's because of climate change. I've said this so many times before. Do what you can. Corporations, do what you can. If you don't change immediately, you're not going to have a corporation to run. You're not going to have a life. So you have to do what you can do. Otherwise, there's going to be nothing. Australia is just burning. And so thank you to all the firefighters. I know American firefighters just traveled over there to go help out.
Oh, really?
That's amazing. So yeah, do what you can. What a great note we're ending on for the letter A. We'll post another picture of an Australian cattle dog on the Instagram page.
So another A, Arm the Animals, which is an organization that sells clothing. It's animal-related clothing. Their T-shirts are really adorable and funny, and I own some of them, and they donate proceeds from their sales to go towards different animal organizations. And right now they have shirts for sale that help Wires Wildlife Rescue in Australia, which is helping all the poor animals that have been affected by the fires. And we're not affiliated with Arm the Animals or Wires, and it's capital WIRES. We just both love animals a lot, and so we've donated to them. So yeah, and you don't have to donate a lot. Every dollar helps. So if you want to, do something good and you have a few extra bucks, please consider donating to an organization to help all the people and animals of Australia.
And Sharon is wearing one of those shirts right now, which I don't think I've seen her take it off, actually, because she's worn it probably for 2 weeks straight. It's
Around the house is pajamas. It's not like...
right. Not outside.
Not outside.
And it's a little cute kitten holding a... is that a scythe? A
sickle.
A sickle, yeah. I know they're similar. But yeah, it's a little cute kitten holding a sickle, which I think is hilarious and cute. So yeah, go donate, go buy a shirt, and help all of the lives in Australia, animal and human alike. And
yeah, so cheers again to your last episode. Thank you for wanting me to be on this episode. It was fun. Sorry if we ended on kind of a downer.
But, it's something that has to be talked about, and the timing just worked out this way. And what was I going to say? Thank you for listening. This is not my last episode. This is just the last episode of the letter A. I still have 15-ish more years to go. And so, you know what? In the next couple days, you will start hearing me talk about the letter B.
Woo woo.
I have no idea how long that's going to take. I haven't planned it out yet. And so, hey, that could be a year and a half for all I know.
Wow.
All right. And until next time, this is Spencer and Sharon reading the dictionary. Goodbye.
Bye.